Cheers!
Cheers!
Ting! Does it taste as good as the kind you get in Magic Kingdom?
Minus all of the joy of the day to come, yes.
But I put glitter in it to make it taste delicious and magical. Just like they do at Bippity Boppity Boutique.
Pixie dust.
I dusted it.
The key is to make it squeak as you sip. So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about a hot topic, which is...
That was a good store.
It was. Is it? They still have hot topics? We are talking about some travel and money saving hacks that I've seen
Okay.
to help you save money on your Disney trip. But I think what we're going to talk about, because I've seen a lot of these articles online, are like the ways that you can save money for your next Disney vacation, because obviously Disney vacations do not come super cheap.
Famously expensive.
Notoriously expensive. But people have all these hacks. I'm going to call them quote unquote life hacks.
Okay.
Similar to the 5-minute crafts, which are not all hacks. And so I want to get your take on them, because some of them make sense, some of them don't make as much sense.
Some are fact, some are fiction.
And some of them I think maybe make sense in specific situations.
Agreed. All right.
Okay. So I've got 4 categories, I guess.
Okay.
One is hotels.
Makes sense.
Food. Park extras is what I called it. And then travel planning and prep.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to start off, let's talk about hotels.
Yes, this is a huge piece of the expense.
Sure is, especially if you don't live in the Orlando area, which I assume the vast majority of people don't.
Right. So you would need a hotel because your home is not nearby. Got it?
Okay. So this, I've got 3 real hacks that I found online. Again, I don't know if I think any of them are actually hacks.
Okay.
First one, staying at an off-site hotel.
Oh, this is one I see on a ton of different travel blogs. Mm-hmm. And it depends, but I think there are some very important details about why it often is not the case that it's cheaper.
Yeah.
That travel blogs fail to mention.
Okay. And then can you talk a little bit about like what a good neighbor resort is? Because I feel like I don't... Is that what the Swan and Dolphin is? But it's not owned by Disney?
Technically, yes.
Oh, okay.
So good neighbor hotels are hotels that Disney has a partnership with but does not own.
And are those off-site then, or no? Are those on-site?
Some are technically on property, like the Swan and Dolphin.
Okay.
And some are off property.
Okay.
It's a combo. Good neighbor hotels can sometimes be better value than Disney resorts because you're not paying for the intellectual property in the same way that you would be by staying at a Disney owned resort. But sometimes it's not better value. And whether it's a good neighbor hotel or not, you're going to run into some similar things that often get overlooked by the blogs.
Okay.
Something that you notice is if you go through the Disney website or through a Disney travel planner and stay at a Disney World Resort hotel, there are not hidden fees. The only thing that you're going to see once you go to check out is the price of tax. everything else is actually already included in the quote that Disney gives you.
Yeah.
The price estimate. Whereas for the Good Neighbor hotels and for other resorts off property altogether, not Good Neighbor hotels,
there's always like random fees. Like,
yes.
I don't know. Like, I feel like every time I stay in a hotel, they're like,
they will say something like, your price of your room per night is going to be $125. And you're like, wow, that's great.
What a great deal. Plus,
and then you click on it, and you're going to get an increase of sometimes close to 100% increase with all the different fees that are not initially quoted in the number it gives you. So it's really misleading and really frustrating. So it really just depends on the resort that you choose. Certainly, there are some resorts you could book that might have better value for the size of the room and maybe some of the amenities within the resort itself. However, you will not be getting the same perks related to the Disney theme parks that you get with a Disney resort hotel, like being able to easily use Disney transportation, such as the bus system, the boats, the monorail, or the Skyliner. And also, Disney offers perks for all of the resorts where you can enter the park early by 30 minutes currently. And then for the deluxe resorts, there are certain nights and certain theme parks where you can stay a couple of extra hours at the end. Now, also the other asterisk there is that they do offer the perks I just mentioned for some of their Good Neighbor hotels as well.
Yeah, the one thing that I always think about is the transportation, because Disney World is a lot bigger than people realize, maybe even than I realized before I went. I kind of thought in my mind it was similar to like Six Flags, where you can, it's just, it's like there, and it's not. So you would have to like Uber or get a rental car if you flew there, or I guess you could drive too if you would drive in there. But
some of the Good Neighbor hotels and non-Disney hotels that are not Good Neighbor hotels do offer shuttle services. But they're not quite as comprehensive as Disney's internal transportation system.
They're much smaller, I'm sure, yeah.
And I don't think they run as frequently.
Yeah.
I will say, staying at a Disney resort hotel used to offer far more perks than it does now.
That's true.
You used to be able to have souvenirs that you purchased in the parks shipped right back to your resort free of charge. They don't offer that anymore. They used to have...
Now I'm walking around with like a Christmas tree ornament for the rest of the day.
Or exhausting. You could pay to have it shipped back to your house where you live.
All right, Scrooge McMoney bags.
They used to offer extra magic hours. They used to have the free Fast Pass service perk. And of course, they also used to have Disney's Magical Express, which is probably the thing I miss the most.
Was the Fast Pass thing? That was just connected to if you stayed in an on-property hotel? I didn't know that. I thought it was just like because you bought tickets there. When they did the Fast Passes.
I don't remember. I did that last part out.
Wow. Okay. So, verdict? Maybe worth it?
Verdict, it depends. It might be worth it, but make sure that you run the numbers. And don't be misled by all of the blogs that will just immediately tell you it's better value, because not all of them are.
All right. Okay, next one. And this is something we did, using your credit card rewards to pay for a hotel. Anything, I guess.
You and I happen to have, two really good credit cards for Disney trip savings and planning. We happen to have a Venture card as well as the Disney Rewards Visa card. And depending on which credit card you have, if you have a travel or hotel points related card, you could potentially save some money for a trip to Disney. We were able to use our Venture card to save up a ton of money and funding to pay for airline tickets, hotel, and then the Disney Rewards Visa card we were also able to use to pay for things like park tickets. You
basically got like a
food, souvenirs.
Gift card. Okay.
It translated into a Disney gift card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that is a good hack?
Yes, and I'll go a step further.
Oh. A step further, she said.
And I don't know if you had this covered in another part.
Do we get like a commission for getting people to sign up for the Disney?
No, there's no commission
I don't know.
here.
Both people
That'd be great, right?
Both people who view this blog might.
That'd be great if we got a commission. No. The other thing you and I used to do is we used to buy Disney gift cards as we went along, just so we could kind of have money saved away. And that's fine for convenience, and I enjoyed doing that. But because we have the Disney Rewards Visa card, they now offer 10% off of every single purchase in the park, with just a few exceptions related to like customization. But food and souvenirs, we were able to get 10% off of on our most recent trip.
Like everything.
Yeah, there used to be a minimum where you had to buy at least $50.
It was like $75. It was like a weirdly high amount to get the 10% off.
It was $50 per purchase for you to get the 10% off. And I will say, heading in the right direction, they changed it so that you just get the 10% off. And I liked using that. That actually saved us a bunch of money. 10% of our souvenir purchases and from our last trip. And everything else. Yeah. So that one was a good one.
Okay. Next one. Staying out at a moderate hotel.
Staying at a moderate hotel is a good idea for some families, depending on the size of your family and the amenities that you're looking for. You and I stay typically at a value resort. We also have not yet gone on a trip in which we've taken a child. So as a family of 2 adults who were looking to spend most of our day in the theme parks, I highly recommend going with value resorts to just get a clean bedroom and shower for the night. And then we actually like staying at Pop Century because it's on the Skyliner, and we go to Epcot, drops us off in our favorite part of Epcot. Perfect, ready to go. That's a pretty good money saving technique too. We've also done one time, you and I stayed at a deluxe resort, which was the Boardwalk, and loved it. It was gorgeous, beautiful. It's a lot of money to spend to not spend a ton of time in your room or at the resort, if that's the trip you're taking, is to go predominantly to the theme parks. So I'd say be thoughtful about how much sleeping space do you need for each member of your family, how much time do you plan to stay in the theme parks versus at your resort, and when you are at your resort, what do you plan to do?
Yeah, I think there are probably people who spend a lot more time at their resort than we do.
And for them, going moderate could be a really good idea. Or for some people, you have some relatives, as do I, who maybe spend a little bit of time in the parks, but really spend a lot of time enjoying their resort. They're able to afford deluxe, and deluxe in those situations makes more sense. But for money saving, you're going to want to try to go as inexpensive on the hotel as possible.
Yeah, I think especially if you are... The kind of trips we take are typically really park heavy.
Yes.
And yeah, we have never taken a kid before, and so I don't know if that would change our room needs.
It might. The other thing I would say, by the way, to its credit, is that staying in they refurbished the rooms at the value resorts, like at Pop Century, and the mattresses, the sleeping arrangements, so comfortable.
Oh,
We've
I actually
not been
loved
disappointed.
it. Yeah. No, it's the room that we stayed in the last time was really nice.
Yeah, it's just space that you get less of.
It is. It was just less space, but the inside of the room was great. So. Okay, other thoughts on hotels?
No.
Ready to move on? Okay. Let's talk about food.
Huh. Yes,
Nice.
please.
Okay. I kept seeing when we were on our last trip that I'm just here for the snacks shirts. And I loved those.
We just bought that for our son.
I know, because they were so cute. Okay. First hack.
Okay.
We don't know. All right. Getting groceries delivered to your room.
Can be a really good strategy, and here's why. Food within the theme parks is undeniably expensive, and if you try to go for three meals in one day, 3 full meals a day in the theme parks, you're gonna spend a pretty penny. If you're the sort of person...
You're gonna spend a pretty
penny. If you can handle going with a smaller meal for one of the 3 meals...
Yeah.
In our case, breakfast.
Yeah.
then groceries could be the way to go. Disney does allow you to bring in food that you've made yourself into the theme parks. And so we always bring in things like power bars, small snacks like that. And we let ourselves fill up in the morning on snacks.
Yeah. I will say, since we were talking about bringing a kid to, to Disney World, I feel like now we need to travel with so many snacks for him, even when we're just out in our city.
True.
So I don't know if it would just be like, do we bring one carry-on full of snacks? Just like loose granola bars and stuff in there? Or would it make more sense in that situation to have groceries delivered to your room? Because you also then need to pay for like the grocery delivery fee, which is, its own thing. But
it's a good question. I think grocery delivery can be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the space with your checked or carry-on luggage, whatever way you go, could be better value to have groceries delivered. And the Disney resort hotels have gotten very good at navigating
the delivery
grocery delivery system. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, next one. And this one, I don't know how I feel. The article suggested eating outside the parks. And by this, they meant leaving the park. So I guess going to like an area Olive Garden.
Just gonna face palm for this one.
Local. So let's say you leave and go to a local Orlando Olive Garden to eat dinner instead.
If you are an annual pass holder and you're a local, yes, this is a great money saving tip. If you are visiting from not nearby and this is your big trip, no, do not leave the parks and come back.
That feels like it would take a lot of time.
The amount of time that you just wasted is bad value.
Yeah.
Because park tickets are really expensive as is.
Yeah.
So the metaphor time is money here really applies. And if you're completely leaving the parks to go eat somewhere else and you're killing several hours in the process to do that, no.
Yeah.
I would say opt instead for a quick service meal for even your big meal like dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down is going to cost more in the parks, but if you do quick service, you're not going to spend significantly more than you would outside of the parks.
Yeah. I mean, I will say we went to Columbia Harbor House, and they have like vegetables, protein, and it's like $14 or $15 a person maybe.
Yeah, it was not unreasonable, and we completely filled up.
Yeah.
I had soup, a full sandwich,
I know,
some fries.
I had salmon and green beans.
And a soda, and I was completely full, and we did not spend significantly more than we would at a local establishment for quick service.
That's true.
Yeah, so I would suggest just opting for quick service instead, or, as I mentioned, just bringing in snacks if it's for something like a third meal and you're going to have 2 other big meals that day.
Yeah. All right, next one. Bringing your own water bottle.
Oh, duh. Yeah, many people don't know that you can bring in your own water bottle at the Disney theme parks.
It's not like going through airport security. They let you bring in the water.
Correct. And at Universal Studios, when you come in with your water bottle, they allow you to bring in a reusable water bottle, but they make you completely empty it as you go through security. Disney, which we already love better anyway, does not make you do that. You can enter the park with a full water bottle and you are A-okay and they're not going to care. So I would say make sure you do that, because the other thing is that Disney gives out free iced water.
Yeah, at all restaurants.
There's some places where it's just you can push the button yourself. There are other places where you can just ask the cast member and they will give it to you right away. But it's free. They're going to give you water. They don't want you passing out and going home. It's Florida. They recognize that water is very requisite.
Yeah. I will say, I feel like every time we go to Disney, I see people walking around holding like a Diet Coke bottle that they drink and then refilled with water.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, of course that's fine. But I'm like, That's just a not efficient way to do that.
Many of us have our own at home.
Yeah.
Bring your own from home.
Bring your own.
Because it's
water
much
bottle.
cheaper than buying their bottled water. Their
Right.
bottled water, how much did it cost per bottle?
$3.50 or something, like some unreasonable amount of money.
Because that all can add up really quickly.
Because we also drink a ton of water. We're very well hydrated people. This isn't water, but cheers. This is a diuretic.
Dehydration.
But,
we do enjoy pounding the fluids.
we do drink a lot of water, so. Okay, this next one. You said the dining plan is coming back, correct?
It is.
Theoretically.
Yeah, so like the second week of January.
Oh,
It's
okay.
coming back.
Is that January 9th? Is that when they're doing that? Or?
It's January 8th, I think.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of stuff is happening on January 9th. My birthday. Okay, so let's talk about the dining plan. Getting that when it comes back. Do you think that that's a good value for most people?
Great question.
Is that going to save you money, really?
The answer is, for most people, no. It's convenience, if that.
Yeah.
It's prepay is what it is, which is nice that you don't have to worry about a big bill or credit card bill when you get home from your trip. But it's not great value unless you are a rare breed. I think for me, I could probably save money with it.
But you have to buy it for everyone in your party, right?
Yes. And for you, it would be terrible value.
Because I think they know what you would do. If it was just you had to buy it for one person, you would just share it if you could.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how the dining plan works.
Yeah.
You have one set amount that you pay per person per day
Yeah.
for a certain number of meal credits and snack credits.
Yeah.
And if you go with a standard meal plan for the day, you can do one sit-down restaurant, one quick service, and then I believe it gives you 2 snacks per day.
That's like a lot.
It is. And they don't give you certain food items are marked as qualifying for the meal plan, whether as a snack credit, quick service
Or
credit,
at least that's how it was in the past.
or a sit-down credit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the items that they allow to be a part of that plan are not every single item that Disney sells within their parks or resorts. So you'll be able to buy some things with the meal plan and other things you can't. And
I remember they didn't let you, like, you couldn't buy a margarita with your snack credit.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
You can get alcoholic beverages with
As
your
your
meal
beverage.
plan
Yeah,
in
right.
certain situations, but not everything counts. So what you have to be mindful of is, let's say you and I go to a sit-down restaurant and we're getting our sit-down credits. I'm a person who loves high-end food, and I might be able to get the most expensive thing that they allow for on the meal plan because that's what I genuinely want to eat. But I can guarantee that while I'm over here having the steak,
I'd be like, I'll have the spaghetti.
she'll have the spaghetti, and they count exactly the same. And we paid the exact same
Yeah.
amount for that credit. And now I can't buy that meal plan for just me.
Yeah.
If she and I are in the same reservation
You would have
for
to
the
do-
hotel, for your plan, for the whole vacation, then I have to buy it for both of us if I'm buying it.
Because we have many times just shared like a entree together and then
Yes.
get like an extra appetizer or something.
But that's the other downside too, is if the thing that you really want to eat does not qualify for the meal plan,
Oh.
then you don't get the thing you want. And then the other thing a lot of people run into is that they'll have a whole bunch of snack credits at the end because they weren't hungry enough to eat everything. And so now, instead of getting like in the park the Mickey pretzel with the soft cheese, they're in the gift shop of their resort just grabbing some of the prepackaged stuff that isn't as good, it's not as fresh, and monetarily isn't as good a value
And
either.
it's like just Chip and Dale shaped.
like prepackaged pretzels.
Yeah.
Hard ones.
Like you could get at any grocery store, you know?
Yeah, rolled gold.
Rolled gold. Yeah, but they're just like regular snack crackers or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say the meal plan is really only a good idea, in my opinion, if you are a person who likes to eat a lot of meat.
You're the fancy.
If you're the fancy like me, and that applies to every single person, in your party.
I've also thought about this too, is that, I mean, I would describe myself as like 90% vegetarian, and usually choose the vegetarian option, which is usually less expensive, because meat is the expensive part of it, I guess, I don't really know. The ingredient is more expensive. But then I've also thought about, well, being a vegetarian already sort of limits you in the places that you can go in different, do you know what I mean? And so like, it just feels like it's adding another limitation to, I don't know, what you're able to do if you have like dietary restrictions. Disney's really good about dietary restrictions, but still it's like about, you know, restrictions and preferences too.
For good value, you don't want to prepay for stuff at Disney.
Yeah.
If you're a person who's a vegetarian or a picky eater. And my dear wife is a very cheap date, so between the two of us, one of us spends way more money on the food budget than the other.
That's funny. But I make up for it in like the coffee budget and buying souvenirs.
I still
and
want
stuff.
the coffee too. I'm the more expensive.
I know. I'm
of
just
the
trying to
two
make
at
you feel
Disney,
better.
that you're
Okay.
really nice.
Okay. Other thoughts on food?
The other thoughts I have on food, and I don't know that this is money saving, it's just like value. Do your
that's money
research
saving.
before a Disney trip, and we should probably talk about this
yeah.
in future episodes, about which food at Disney is good and which is maybe something you could pass on.
Yeah.
Because some of the best eating you and I ever do is at the Disney theme parks.
But like if you also wanted to just eat chicken fingers and Mickey pretzels, like that would be an option.
If you just want to eat theme park food, it's there.
It's there.
But
It's
if you
just,
want to
like,
be a
you can
foodie,
also do fancy food or food that's just higher quality.
So if you understand that when you go on this Disney vacation,
That's a good point.
you're going to be spending a good chunk of money on food. Let it be experiential food that you really enjoy.
I also
that you're
think,
excited about.
Like, we're full adults. I can't go multiple days not eating vegetables.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, if I was
yes.
just gonna only eat park food, or like stuff that, you know, whatever, state fair type food, garbage food, I don't know, whatever, which I love, don't get me wrong. But like, if I was to just eat that for 5 days in a row,
You'd be physically miserable on your trip.
I would be struggling.
So find
I
that
unfortunately
good food.
need to eat vegetables all the time.
And there's some really good ones at the Disney parks, promise.
I mean, there's still vegetables, but yeah. Okay. I'm going to call this next section park extras.
Ooh.
Doing bonus things in the park.
Okay, hit me.
The first one I have is not doing Genie Plus or buying Lightning Lanes. When do you think it's worth it? When do you think it's not really worth it? Do you think it's not really worth it? What do you think?
I was doing this because for me, it's the thing I want most about my Disney experience, but I think each person's going to be different.
I mean, for us, I think we usually go on such whirlwind fast trips is what it feels like. And so it feels like it's more money, but like in the grand scheme of how much we're spending on Disney, it feels like not that much, you know? I don't know if that's...
Okay, so with Genie Plus, its monetary value is going to be contingent upon the value that you put into riding rides in your time in the theme park.
Yeah.
And which rides.
And some people are not huge attractions people. We talked about our relatives who spend a lot of time doing resort stuff or going to fancy restaurants or whatever. And there's a lot of stuff you can do at Disney that's not just riding attractions, but...
Also, if you're not going to be going on the thrill rides, I would argue Genie Plus is not something you need to spend your money on.
Yeah.
So for context, Genie Plus is a feature that allows you to get what formerly was called Fast Passes, is now called Lightning Lanes, at your day at the park. It also, a new perk that they've offered for now, is that it also gives you free downloads of all of your ride photos. Ride photos only. I called to ask, does it include the pictures that cast members take of you? No. Just your ride photos. But
and I always look great on ride photos, so
deeply flattering.
They're always worth it.
Wait, can we do a quick impression of on all of our ride photos what I look like and what you look like?
Okay, you ready? Wait, in our every single one. Okay, you go ahead.
In every single one, I look like this.
Okay, 1, 2. Oh, and I look like
true. I look delighted.
What is our Magic Kingdom? Or not the Magic Kingdom, the After Hours, the Deep Space Mountain.
We did Deep Space Mountain.
That's the first picture I've ever looked like placid and like
your eyes were literally closed and you're like, and I like had no idea where I was and I was so in awe.
You looked like,
and I'm just hugging my backpack and I'm like,
and I am somehow placidly sitting like,
yeah. That was a really funny role reversal.
That was. Okay. So yes.
So you have to buy it again for every member of your party if you buy it. You cannot buy it for one person. However, you can choose to buy it for which days you want. So you don't have to buy it for every single day of your trip. You don't even have to buy it for every single day you go into a park. You only need to buy it for the days you want to buy it. But it'll typically cost you somewhere in the ballpark of $25 per person for that day. And it will give you access to the lightning lanes.
There's not a set price? I thought there was a set price.
There's not a set price. So there are different prices for... There's a price for if you want it for park hopping, so all parks for that day.
Okay.
There's also different prices for every single of the 4 parks. And there's basically like surge pricing. So the price can fluctuate depending on the anticipated crowd levels that day. So for like Christmas Day, you're going to see the highest prices. And you're going to see like really low prices, maybe like the second week of September. And then the other thing that you'll notice is that certain parks cost more than others. So Magic Kingdom is always going to be the most expensive. And then the least expensive, I think, is Animal Kingdom.
Because there's like 3 rides in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, and Epcot was also pretty inexpensive. Yeah. But I would say if you're not going to go on any of the thrill rides are the ones that typically have the really long queues.
Yeah.
The really long wait times. If you're not going on any of those, you may not find value in Genie Plus. The other thing is, like, you don't get guaranteed access to any particular lightning lane for that day. You have to have a member of your group or party who knows how to use the app and knows how to use it well, or who's able to learn how to use it pretty well, because you need to be quick. You can book your first lightning lane for the day every single day at 7 a.m. and your second one exactly 2 hours after what time the park opens to the general public that day. So I know. And then the rest of the day, you can book your subsequent lightning lanes as soon as you scan in for the one that you had before it, or 2 hours after you booked your most recent. All of those rules are pretty complicated to remember, and you need to have somebody who can stay on top of that.
Right.
So if that's going to cause you a huge headache, then I wouldn't do it.
I'm glad that I'm just able to be like, yeah, you'll do it, because otherwise I feel like that would be a huge fight for us.
The other thing that would be, I think, a real headache for us is if you and I had to spend our whole day standing in lines. We went to the theme parks and waited very little in lines at all. And that made our trip way more fun. And you and I, the last few times that we've gone, other than the COVID year, have not had to wait in lines because we know how to use previously the FastPass system, now the Genie Plus Lightning Lane system really, really well. And so for us, it's some of the best money we spend on our entire vacation. But be smart about what time of year it is, which attractions you want to go on, and do you have somebody who can utilize the system well. Yeah. If you're going to Animal Kingdom in like early February and it's not during a race, you really don't need to pay for it because you're not going to wait much in line anyway.
That's true. Okay, next one. not going to events or after hour parties?
I think the events and after-hour parties are some of the most fun things you can do.
Yeah. I had a blast at both. Well, I guess we've gone to 3, like, evening events. They've all been 10 out of 10.
They have been. I think some of our favorite Disney memories are at the special events. The first ever after-hours event we went to was
just
really...
like an after-hours. There wasn't any,
There was no
special.
theming. The only theme is... There's very few people in this park, and you get to walk onto all of these rides.
Yeah, we went on Splash Mountain like twice in a row.
Yeah.
It was great.
And we walked right on Space Mountain.
We did, it was amazing.
We didn't have to get off of a lot of attractions.
Yeah, we
just
rode
be like,
attractions
again, and they'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
And the cast members are in great moods.
When I found out that they have like 5,000 people at an event like that, I thought it was still going to be pretty busy. But somehow it isn't.
It's a pretty big space.
I'm very confused about that. Like that doesn't, the math doesn't make sense. But I also might be really bad at estimating how big crowds are. But also, I've seen people who don't go to the parks that day. Like they don't have a park day, and then they go to the after hours event.
So that is a way that you can kind of financially compensate.
Yeah.
Because going to a themed party like Mickey's Not So Scary, or the Very Merry Christmas Party, those events cost a lot of money. However, if you choose not to go to the park that day, you can typically still get into whichever event park you have a ticket for pretty early in the day. The event, like let's say it starts at 7 p.m., they'll let you into the park starting at 4 p.m.
Or something, yeah.
And so in that situation, like, you're getting pretty good value for the day. You don't necessarily need to plan to go to the park that day. So instead of getting like a 4-day park ticket, you could get a 3-day park ticket and save a little bit there.
Yeah.
Although, something I will add is that for a lot of the parties at Magic Kingdom, they will close Magic Kingdom to the general public earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So it might only be open from like 9 a.m. until 6 p.m., which a lot of day guests might consider bad value. So
that's totally true.
They don't go, which means that if you look at things like touringplans.com, the crowd calculators for that day or crowd estimators do not anticipate much of a crowd at all. And I would say can confirm when we went, it wasn't particularly busy. Yeah.
One of these days, I think we should try and do a rope drop which we never do, to an after hours party. How many hours would that be? 18 hours or something? We like come out, we're like dehydrated and like tumbling onto the bus.
There was one time we thought we were doing a rope drop and we somehow didn't realize the park opened 30 minutes early.
I don't know what we were,
to resort guests.
We were just standing there with everyone else, like idiots. Oh, whatever.
We went to Hollywood Studios at the time that it opened to the general public until the time stores closed, which is an hour after park closed.
Oh my god, that was a long day. But was that during COVID? It was.
We call it during COVID.
Indecent.
It was 2021.
Yeah.
The summer of 2021.
So it wasn't like, but it was still, they had a lot of COVID rules, I guess.
Yes.
Still. But I think, it was like a year and a half after the pandemic started. Yeah. That was still so the hours were not as long as they could have been. But that was the closest we've come to doing the commando, whatever, rope drop to park close.
Which we needed to for Hollywood Studios, because we never go to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
So if we were going to spend a day there.
We needed to get it all in. I know.
Had to get it all in.
Yeah, that was.
And we did.
We probably walked like 30,000 steps that day. All right, next one. Don't get the photo pass. We love the photo pass, but
this is something you could save money on, because something you may not realize is the photographers at the Disney theme parks
take pictures on your phones and stuff.
If you hand them your phone and ask them nicely to take a picture of you, they will.
Yeah.
No problem. And they'll do it for free.
They don't They got nowhere else to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
their whole job is just to take
it's not
pictures.
a faux pas.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with doing that, and you won't get charged for it. So you can definitely save money on it. And Disney,
You don't get the magic shots, obviously, but yeah.
You don't get the magic shots. The magic shots are some photos that Disney cast members take of you will be edited by a cast member behind a computer screen elsewhere.
Somewhere.
To add something
somewhere
cute.
Else, yes.
Like to add a character to the picture, to add a special effect.
Yeah.
And some of those photos are some of the coolest that we have.
That Tron one is cool. The like...
Yeah. There's one where I'm sticking my arms up and there's like a laser beam above me.
Like as if you were shooting light out from your body. Yes.
And some of the photos we have from the Halloween event or party, like Hitchhiking Ghost, will be added into some of our photos. Mm-hmm. I love all of those. But Disney did just announce that they're upping the price of their photo pass. Memory Maker, is what it's called. And so if you want to save just shy of $200, that's something you can skip and just have them use your phone.
Yeah.
That being said, for Rachel and I,
we love those.
We love those, and that's some of the favorite part of our trip. And so we are willing to pay for that. But that's not what we're saving.
When we take our baby and we can Bennett. He's not a baby, but he's a toddler.
He's
always going
to
be a baby.
He'll be a 40-year-old man and still our baby.
He'll be my baby. I know, like at his college graduation, we'll be like, my baby.
My baby.
But I think there would be some really cool pictures that you could get him to pose for.
Oh, yeah. And the photographers do a great job of having the kids pose
in
cute ways so that some of the magic shots involve the kids.
So like the kids holding the whatever, or like
whatever funny thing it is.
My favorite was I saw a family doing where they held up the toddler, like the toddler was being pulled away by the balloons, and then the toddler's like up here,
and then they Photoshop balloons into the kid's
like an
hand.
up style. Yes, it was very funny.
It's really cute.
It is very cute.
Oh, also, if you get Memory Maker, you also get all of your ride photos free to download. So if you get Genie Plus, you just get the ride photos. If you get Memory Maker, you get all of it.
Again, pictures that I always look great in. The photos. I will say, now that we've done more research and we know when the picture is coming.
On the ride. She's referring to the rides.
On the rides. Because sometimes it'll happen earlier than you think it's going to be. Mm-hmm. Which is why on like Pirates of the Caribbean, everyone is expecting it to be later when you're going down the thing, but instead it's in the face
just before the drop.
Right, and so everyone is just like staring dead-eyed, and then they're expecting it to be on the drop. But
and in Haunted Mansion, of all places, it's when
in that hallway, the first hallway.
The hallway lightning. With the lightning photos that change from like kind of normal photos to like
blue light photos, I guess it's true.
Like Medusa.
Yeah.
Or the Headless
or
Horseman.
Black light photos. That's what those are called. I think. I don't know. But I think they do that so you don't notice that it's not a disruption to the...
It's kind of a funny anticlimactic in both spaces, Pirates and Haunted Mansion, space to take the photo. Because people are usually just going...
Everyone in their ride photos is just like... Because they're just watching.
Except you and I, who are hamming it up.
Because we're emotionally prepared, so we're like, let's do a heart!
I know. But I still haven't figured out... I know when they take your picture on Haunted Mansion, but I'm always looking in the wrong direction.
I know.
I'm like, where is the camera itself? I'll figure it out eventually.
Looking? One of these days.
I'll Google it later.
I'll Google it. Okay. Next one. Trip planning and prep. First hack. Plan a day that you are not going to be in the parks for your trip. So if you're going for 5 days, plan one of those days to be like a hotel day.
That's just a good idea in general. And yes, that will save you money.
Yeah.
Well, unless you do something in particular.
I mean, okay, here's what I was thinking, though. I already paid all the money that it costs for me to fly here and to stay in this hotel. So do I feel like it's a good value for me to take that time off? Or would I rather just... Do you know what I mean?
Even if you're staying in a value resort, if you're staying... 5 nights, that's the threshold where I start to argue you should plan for a day off from the parks, because your feet and your legs are going to be so tired unless you regularly run marathons or like do CrossFit.
You're in one of those like strongman organizations, like exercise groups where they like lift boulders and like flip tires and stuff. Yeah.
You're going to be really tired, and having a day off from the parks to recharge and enjoy your resort is a really good idea. And also, Disney has a ton of other cool things around property. We personally think that Disney Springs is one of the most beautiful spaces.
I don't know if I think that like going shopping for a whole day is a relaxation though. It's not like I would recover. I could walk just as much at Disney Springs.
You could.
I could walk just as far at Pleasure Island.
It has not been called Pleasure Island since the 90s.
I want to bring it back. No, I know. I want to bring back Pleasure Island as a name because I love it.
Well,
I'm mad that they got rid of the Pleasure Island. If you just wanted
to go to Disney Springs and find a place to grab a drink and listen to music,
that's true,
and sit and relax, could you accidentally spend a ton more money?
I need to walk the entire. I need to trace every part of the Lego store and the Worlds of Disney. What's it called? The World of Disney, the big Disney store downtown. Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge area. So.
It is, but there's so much to like look at. So I can't promise that you'll fully recharge your legs, but you won't feel as much like you need to go commando rope drop at 6 a.m. and stay until. I mean, it does stay open until 11 p.m., but I don't think you're going to feel the need to go open to close for Disney Springs. It just is something that you could add to the day plus swimming.
You know what I just realized or I was just thinking about? It feels like every single time that we've gone to Animal Kingdom, it's rained.
Yes.
A ton. I feel like it's never rained any of the times we've gone to Disney Springs.
Knock on some wood for that.
I know. It's the Pleasure Island. It keeps it dry.
The other thing that I wanted to add, by the way, is that you can also use your off day from the parks to go visit other resorts.
Ooh, I love when people do those like Christmas tree. I have a friend and she goes with her grandparents and they'll always do the stroll to go look at like the Christmas trees and stuff.
Yeah, the deluxe resorts all do like really beautiful Christmas tree displays.
Very elaborate Christmas trees, yeah.
But even during other times of year, the resorts are beautiful. And even if you're not staying at one of the resorts, you can go visit it and you can check out their restaurants, check out their shops, just walk around the grounds because it's beautiful.
We just like to go to the Polynesian and hang out and like pretend like we're staying there, even though we're just going to the restaurants.
We've still never gone to Trader Sam's. I've been there in spirit with our friend Christy. Christy has now gotten 2 shout outs on this show.
Love to do one every time.
I know. Where's Waldo? There's Christy. But we haven't gone and we want to. Yeah. It's like another one of those great things.
It's not because we don't want to.
You can also just go ride the monorail, which is really fun.
That's the best ride in all of Disneyland.
And I wanted to add this because my family did this when we were little. My parents would take us mini golfing. There's a couple of really nice mini golf courses that you can do, like the little Shades of Green. There's also like official golfing for maybe that's Shades of Green, but there's 2 like there's Winter Summerland, and then there's
Winter Summerland.
Yeah, it like was the juxtaposition of like winter and summer, but it was really cute. I don't know.
Okay, I believe it.
Oh, and then of course you can also go. I mean, you and I don't even talk about it because we've never bothered doing it, but Disney does have water parks. We also live like 45 minutes south of like the water park capital of the world.
The Wisconsin Dells, so.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, people, I'm
water
sure,
parks are not as noteworthy to us.
We don't go to them, I guess, but. People seem to like them, I don't know.
Although that would not be money saving because you do need tickets to the water parks.
Right, yeah. Okay, next one. Going during the off seasons. And by that I mean not during like Christmas, spring break. Is the summer really busy too, or
it's gotten better.
I want to say like Christmas and spring break are the biggest times, right?
And Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the busiest times. Yes.
So going during the off seasons.
Yes. Disney does seasonal pricing on almost everything. And so you're going to get significantly cheaper prices going during those times that are not specifically the long weekends from school. Anything that is
a school break.
A school break for about a week or close to a week nationally.
That's the time to go.
Is like,
That's the time not to go.
That's the time not
that
to
everyone
go.
is going.
yes. Do
Yeah.
not go during winter break. Do not go during spring break. Do not go during fall break, Thanksgiving. Summer break used to be really rough, but Disney's done such a good job to market people going at other times of year, like using their races and stuff for that it's no longer as bad to go during the summer. The other thing about the summer, if we're being honest,
is so hot.
it's so hot. And also, there used to be no events during the summer.
Oh, that's true.
Now they've started allowing some events to be over the summer, which makes it kind of nice. But people have trickled off during the summer. It used to be really bad and really crowded. In the last couple of years, it's
it
not
was
bad.
so crowded,
Even during COVID.
and the heat wasn't helping any of it.
Even during the post-COVID surge,
Yeah.
summer was not that
It was
bad.
not as bad. Okay.
Nope.
Because the first few times, we, for a long time, only really went during the summer.
Yep.
Because
And-
that was when we had time off from school. But
Yep. Because I don't get vacation
time off
days.
the same way now. And I work for a university, too. So it's... I mean, I have more vacation time, but it's still easier to take time off in the summer, so...
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Using a trip planner, and not in, like, a way that's trying to... market your services. But do you feel like people save money using a trip planner?
No, you can market my services. It's fine. Yes, use a Disney vacation planner, travel planner. They will save you money because that's what their job is, and they cost you $0. At least any reputable one costs $0. If you use a Disney,
Are there non-reputable ones? There probably are.
Yeah, there's some non-reputable people who will advertise themselves as Disney vacation planners, but if they're charging you anything, they're not reputable because Disney does what it needs to do to help compensate travel planners, but it comes at no price to the guests.
Yeah.
And that's because Disney wants you to come back.
Yeah.
And they know that you're going to have a better time if you use a travel planner.
I feel like if it was just me, I would have at some point thought to myself, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool to take our kid to Disney. And then I would have logged onto the Disney website and been like, this is overwhelming. And just like immediately yeeted out of there.
Did you hear me giving the spiel about how to use Genie Plus?
And did you see my eyes glazing over as I was listening? But I feel like there's so many people who are in the same spot as me where they're like, I don't have the time or energy or whatever to learn all of the many, many things that one must learn about Disney, because it's really fun, but it's also got like so many things and it's so many people that it's not like compared to, we were just talking about the Wisconsin Dells. If you go to the Kalahari, there's not really like much to plan for. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of show up and like,
and then impulsively do what is interesting.
Whatever is interesting. And that's just like not really how Disney works.
Disney World is way too big.
Yeah.
And has way too many systems in place for you not to go without having done homework.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about the travel planner is that they can do that homework for you. And the other thing that travel planners do,
that's true,
is they actively seek out
discounts
for you. It's in their best interest to get you that discount because, again, Disney wants you to come back.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you've gotten good value, if you feel like you've had a good time,
had a good experience, then
there's a better chance you're going to come back. So that's what the catch is, and it's not a catch.
You know, I remember once we were standing in line. This is before the pandemic even, and we were at that weird entry part of Haunted Mansion, and we were talking to that family who, it was like two parents and a kid, and they were like, oh, we waited so long for this line or whatever. And we asked them, well, you know, like, you could have gotten this to be your fast pass. That's how we got in or whatever. We were talking about fast passes or something. I don't know, whatever. And they were like, oh, we never used a fast pass. And it was like when they were free, they were staying in property. And it was just like they hadn't really known that it was an option, or like hadn't done the pre-work ahead of time, or like didn't even know that they had fast passes or whatever. And I think that is not an uncommon experience. I don't think that those people are dumb or anything. I was just like, oh my gosh. But I think the thing that makes me think too that you could potentially save money is having some of that knowledge, like about the fast passes, but whatever, saves you a lot of time in the park and a lot of positive experience. Because if you spent, you know, whatever, 120 minutes waiting for a ride that you knew that you wanted to go on when you could have gotten a fast pass theoretically, that's, you know, that took away a lot of time and joy from the ride. From the
just
day,
standing in line for 2 hours or an hour and a half, your legs are so tired. And what are you doing? Are you enjoying yourself? No. So I would say use a travel planner.
Yeah.
Who will help you know what to expect so that you can have a better time. And they make the phone calls for you. That's so true. That you're not waking up at 6 a.m. to get that discount on your hotel. And they're the people that are going to be there to help you if you have questions or concerns.
That's true.
Yeah, we're happy to do it. And we choose to do it because it's genuinely fun.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would caution you, if you're watching this or listening to this, if you went to Disney a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. If you went in like the 90s.
Even 6 years ago, if that was the last time you went. Disney is constantly changing
so much.
Its policies, its rules, its procedures. So even the content that we're sharing in today's...
This will be outdated by the time we post it tomorrow. I know.
But it's constantly changing. And so anything that you think you know, you may no longer know if you haven't
Anything
gone
you
recently.
think you know, you don't know.
No, it probably has changed.
Yeah.
And so, again, to save more money, doing your homework or having someone help you with your homework will save you time and energy, and you'll have a way better time.
Probably.
On your trip.
Yeah. Okay. Next one. Coming prepared with all the weird little things that you might need, such as a poncho, socks, the right shoes, medications you might need, that sort of stuff. Like Tylenol, like over-the-counter medicine, not...
If you come with your poncho before you get to Disney, you're going to save money on that poncho.
Yeah.
Disney charges you more for a generic-looking poncho that'll make you blend in with the entire crowd, and that is not as high quality of a poncho that you could get on Amazon or even at your local Target or Walmart. Also, your medications are going to cost more for less because of the convenience factor when you're on vacation. So coming prepared, asking people for suggested packing lists, people who've gone, or your travel planner, is going to help you just save that miscellaneous chunk of change because you're not having something delivered to you by a food delivery service that charges a little extra for delivery at the resorts.
Yeah.
Or the convenience fee of buying something in a Disney shop.
Yeah. The other thing that I was thinking about too is buying or bringing like rash guard or like the correct shoes and socks, is that most people don't do extensive hikes in very like sweaty conditions on a regular basis. Maybe you do. I don't know what you're up to.
I don't.
But we don't. And if you are physically uncomfortable, like if you have the worst chub rub or like terrible blisters or like whatever, then that is really going to impede your ability to enjoy the experience, thereby costing you money, you know? Because like if you can't stay the whole time that you would have normally been able to, or you can't enjoy the experience.
If your thighs have rubbed raw at Epcot and you're crying because they hurt so much.
You're like bleeding.
So you're not continuing to walk through the World Showcase. You're just sitting there crying a little bit, dreading the part where you're going to have to somehow get to the front of the park or even the Skyliner to get back to your resort.
You're like crying with every step. You're like,
that's not good value.
Oh no. And you always see people who are like walking, like their inner thighs are killing them.
The number one thing I tell people when I give suggested travel, I lead with, make sure your thighs are separated.
Make sure that's like a thing that can happen for you, whatever that means.
Maybe that should be the sign off for our podcast. May your thighs be separated.
May your thighs not chafe.
Not chafe. There we go.
We'll work on a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Like
to the downfall of chub rub.
To the fall of inner thighs chafing. All right. Okay, last one. This is my last tip, my last hack that I saw. And we've done this before, so I'm curious to know. Budgeting ahead with gift cards. You talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But what did we do for a long time when we were budgeting with gift cards? And why did we change our mind this time?
So we didn't want to have that fart in the face after your magical vacation where you have a big
That has
credit
nothing
card bill.
to do with chub rub, with thigh rubbing.
We segue from
an
chub rub into
unrelated body issue. Yes.
Yeah. When you get a big credit card bill after a great vacation, it really is a buzzkill.
And you're like, wah, wah. Yeah.
So we, instead of setting aside money in a bank account, we're purchasing Disney gift cards.
Yeah.
And then loading them all onto like usually two or three.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Because you can fit $999 on each Disney gift card if you transfer the balance of each of them. So anyway, we were saving up a bunch of Disney gift cards.
So that was like basically how we saved. Is that every time we went to Target or whatever, we would get like a $25 or $50 gift card.
And then transfer it onto the one card.
Yeah.
And that was cool because of the setting aside money, saving up money, things like that.
It's not the worst system ever.
Some people can also get a discount on those gift cards through Target if they have the Target Red Card.
Or through Costco,
I've heard that as well.
Or Sam's Club.
We don't have that particular... We have not done that particular perk in either instance.
Maybe we should try it.
But that's an option. However, the downside to using the Disney gift card is that the Disney gift card does not offer any discounts in park. And so you and I get the best discount in real time using our Disney Rewards Visa card.
Yeah.
And that gave us 10% off.
If my parents are watching or your parents are watching, we will still take a Disney gift card. We're not turning it down ever.
Oh, who would I ever turn that down for?
I will still take it. I'm not saying I don't want it.
So in that situation, if we wanted to make sure that a after trip credit card bill was not a buzzkill, we might need to more thoughtfully set aside some money in the bank account as a budget. Like, we understand where this is coming from our checking account.
We did pretty good though. This last time we used, most of what we used was our My Disney Rewards.
Yes, because
park.
your Disney Rewards Visa card also gives you rewards points, which you can then put onto
a gift card, basically.
A rewards gift card, which the rewards gift card also gives you 10% off. So that's where it is. I know. We just got discount on discount on discount on discount.
We're basically going for free at this point.
We did basically go for free on this
last time.
Most recent trip. That's how the whole thing happened.
It was, the thing is, we used those cards to like buy all our baby expenses, like our diapers, and that's how.
Having a baby is very expensive, but all of our rewards points paid for an unexpected Disney trip.
I know, so.
Including our airlines, our hotel, and our park tickets.
So thanks, Bennett. Your diapers were worth it.
Totally.
Yeah, right. He paid for himself.
Oh, yeah, that's what we'll say. The toddler paid for himself.
Yeah. Yeah. The credit card rewards made it worth it. A financially wise decision for us to have a baby. Fiscally solvent.
Just to be clear, we love our child.
I know, that was a joke. I think they got it. Okay. Have you heard any other tips or hacks you want to talk about?
The biggest one I'm going to say here is talk to a travel planner. I know that sounds really self-promotional and it's not my intent. But travel planner...
any travel planner, not just
if you're listening to this, you're already doing your homework, which I'm really proud of you for.
Yeah.
But using a travel planner is going to help you all the more because it's basically like getting a tutor.
Yeah.
Who's going to make sure that you are prepared for the test. The test being the trip.
Yes. The test being the trip, indeed.
Yeah. So I think if you want to save money and get those reminders so you don't have to remember it all on your own, get somebody who does this for fun. Yeah. Or is their full-time job.
We will link
to help
your Facebook group, your Facebook page.
Yeah.
But also, you can always message us or reach out or whatever, and we can help connect you to a travel planner. So
there you go.
All right. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you learned a little something. And if you have a hack that you have heard of, you want us to talk about, that we didn't cover today, because I'm sure there are many other hacks out there, please let us know, and we can maybe incorporate it into a future episode.
I want to slurp.
Do it. That's like a Disney Channel characters slurp, wasn't it? Yeah. All right. Well, if that's it for us, have a good rest of your day. Enjoy whatever day it is that you're watching this. stay magical, and let us know if you like our ears. We wore ears today. I forgot to mention that. We were just wearing them.
Mine represents Canada.
And mine represents rose gold. Okay, bye!
See you again real soon!
Have a magical day!
Because otherwise you're just going to stare at yourself.
It's all I can ever stare at.
Is yourself.
Yeah. I feel like just like when we were on Zoom for everything, all I ever wanted to look at was myself.
Same.
I've never looked hotter than I did in the pip screen of that Zoom, of every single Zoom call.
See, I feel like everyone was staring at themselves, but I high-key wanted everyone to stare at me.
Yeah.
Because I thought
but the
I
thing
looked
is,
so
everyone was
cute.
just staring at themselves.
But I looked so cute.
But then I also feel like it's unlocking some sort of primal, like we're not meant to stare at ourselves like that much.
I regret nothing.